Hello, and welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host, Jeff Cork, joined today by Imran Khan.
I'm a Far Cry expert.
You're a Far Cry expert, and you know who else is a Far Cry expert?
Who?
Introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Leo Vader. I'm video editor at Game Informer and Far Cry expert.
All right, I think we have three of our foremost Far Cry experts in one place, except for you, Imran, because you're in San Francisco. But through the magic of technology, here you are. So what are we looking at?
We're looking at Far Cry New Dawn, which is the newest Far Cry game.
Mm-hmm.
You played it at a preview
event. As a Far Cry
event.
expert, I have played this game and I have impressions of it.
You can confirm that it is a Far Cry game.
I can 99% confirm that it is a Far Cry game.
In the same way that Far Cry Primal was a Far Cry game?
Yes, exactly that same way, except it's a direct sequel to 5.
Oh my gosh, it's just so confusing. So what are some of your initial impressions? Now you're playing co-op too, right? That's the gimmick here, right? We have not seen co-op yet.
This video is the expedition stuff, which is I'm playing co-op with another outlet. And we were... Basically, expeditions means you can leave Montana, and you can go to... Like, this place particularly is in Florida.
Florida?
Yes. So the nuclear war happened, and it happened 17 years ago. Mm-hmm. So everything's peachy keen afterwards, except for the roving bandits and bright pink paint everywhere.
Yeah. A blight.
Yeah.
You're really doing well with this car, Imran. I have to interrupt you because it's more important that I compliment you. You're trying to provide context. Apologies.
Well, my thinking was, I wonder if I can drive this car around this boat, and the answer is kinda.
Yeah.
Yep. If you can do it, see it, you can kind of go there and do it.
Yeah. So expeditions, at least what I played, are all basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
You and your partner, or just you alone, go to a place, and you are tasked with finding a single bag.
Okay.
And when you find that bag and you pick it up, the GPS starts going off in like a minute. Mm-hmm. So you have that time to head to the helicopter and try and get there and wait for it to land before like roving bands of bandits come after you.
Yes. Now, is it similar to kind of like the side missions you could do in Wolfenstein 2, where it's just like this extra bonus stuff? Like, what are you getting by doing these?
You get extra resources and stuff for your like base, which is like the main thing in the game, is building that base up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can you will get rare materials that you need for like increasing that thing's level.
Okay.
I'm also seeing, as we've seen in earlier footage of this game, health bars and damage numbers on enemies. Is there a loot system that feeds into that at all that you're getting here?
If there is, I didn't see it. So despite being a Far Cry expert, I'm not actually a Far Cry New Dawn expert.
Oh, shoot.
Because it's not released yet.
Yeah, once it gets released, I will get that accreditation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for now, I have not seen a loot system so far.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. How did the damage numbers, etc., feel? Did it change the Far Cry experience for you, or did it seem like more of an aesthetic change to make it more arcadey?
It just seemed aesthetic, because like honestly, you still get more damage hitting a headshot, and like you can kind of if a gun was doing more damage, I did not notice it. Mm-hmm. I just used whatever was keeping me more alive.
Yeah, the time to kill seems to be about the same.
Yeah,
as in the games I'm an expert on.
So I know you're not an expert on this game, Imran, but do you get a sense that you're going to have to engage with this aspect of the game to get your base built up, or is it just like an extra fun thing to do if you're tired of being in Montana?
They were really hyped about it, so I feel like if it's not necessary, it's a weird amount of wasted resources.
Okay.
Because like all this stuff, like all these assets seem unique.
That was going to be my next question.
If it wasn't necessary.
Okay, so does it feel like someone is just using like the Far Cry map editor and making some new environments or anything like that? There is a lot of new stuff in each of these locations.
Yeah, like this boat, obviously not anywhere in Montana.
Yes.
Right. So to zoom out for a bit, what all did you do at this preview event? You played stuff besides co-op. What all did you do?
So the basic setup for this game is that you're part of like a traveling band of not necessarily mercenaries but freedom fighters that are helping to like liberate areas from like the bandits that are also a traveling band of, I guess, ne'er-do-wells. So
terrifying.
There's a train crash that happens, and in that train crash, you lose the leader of your band of like do-gooders. And my first mission was rescuing him, and it's like really standard Far Cry stuff of you get him, then you go into a chase. There are people who just happen to be on the route, just sort of in bushes waiting for you, and you turn them away. And also, I think the second mission I took was to rescue a dog, which I think was the most important mission.
Right.
Because it's important in Far Cry that you get a dog companion.
The one in this game looks like the meme dog. Is that correct?
The Doge?
Yes.
I don't believe it's a Shiba Inu, but I don't remember.
That was a really interesting path you just took there, Imran.
I think that car's tires were out.
Yeah, the tires were out. I was like, this isn't turning well.
I'm just going to store this for later.
I boxed the car up for them.
Okay, that's
now
nice.
they can't use it. It's fine.
And that was some great research. I wanted to go off that edge that looks like a very, very long ramp right there, straight ahead. But you went off the side one. It's very interesting. So you can play it your way, apparently.
Safety first, Court.
Absolutely.
Important to
It's a
remember.
sandbox. Do what you want.
Do what you want.
Yeah, so in this case, like you can see the helicopters arriving in like 1 minute. But they're not doing a particularly aggressive job of pursuing you. Like they mostly just kind of stopped at the boat's edge.
Oh, okay.
So like if you beeline it towards a helicopter and you get there at a decent enough time, I imagine in further expeditions it will probably stop you a bit better. Like these guys come in straight from the ocean, which is hilarious to me.
Doesn't even flinch. It's just like, this is like a normal day for us. And now they're dead.
I'm just parking my jet ski.
Now, I know you said, like, when Leo was asking about the numbers appearing, if that changed things. Overall, does it feel like a direct continuation of Far Cry 5? Like anything in the controls or just the responsiveness or anything that stood out to you?
No, I mean, it does feel like if this were Far Cry 5 DLC, I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like that game. Like, they said they were going to mess with the structure a bit because Far Cry 5 structure had a lot of complaints. But other than that, it's roughly the same game.
Did they talk about what the structure was? Like, in particular, what are they addressing?
So everything is based on your base now.
Okay.
So story missions get you points and resources. Expeditions do all that too. So the more your base progresses, that's what actually moves the story along. So it's no longer you're just on a mission and then somebody shoots you with what were it, dream bullets?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're captured by a guy. Then that happens 3 times.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing that again.
Okay, good. You're like, all right, well, it's time you to chair again. I know the routine. Talk at me for a while. I have to say, I'm a big sucker for building up bases. I think that's an element that other Ubisoft games have done in the past that I've always enjoyed. Even Assassin's Creed 3, which some people don't like.
So this is the second expedition mission, which I think Leo cut out, but there was a long thing of dialogue with the guy to just get to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is like, I don't know why it takes so long, so I just got bored and started hopping on his head.
Yeah. Yep. There's some good co-op gameplay going on there. For sure. Does the hub seem interesting?
It does. Like I like the fact that as you recruit people, more people start showing up into the base area. And like they're actually interactable. You can talk to them. See, like I don't think there's any relationship building, but like you can see how they're feeling and stuff like that.
Okay. And are there elements like resources are being generated in your base and you can kind of tailor, like, hey, if I build a collection tower, I'll get more water, which I can in turn use in crafting?
Not that I've noticed. I did notice that it was like a training thing, and like you can use it, but also I think the main method is to make your partner stronger.
Okay.
So I ended up like rescuing someone in the single player that was like, well, I'm blind and I can't really do much myself, but I will happily like help train your soldiers.
Oh, so they're like
okay,
a
that's
training
cool. Yeah.
dummy. That's cool. Rude.
So at the start of this mission, you were interacting with your helicopter. You could trade loot and stuff there. What all could you do in that menu?
I basically use it to reload ammo, but it's your way to get like the guns you want to bring on this mission. Because there's no like real pickups or like weapons to pick up in the mission itself. So what you bring in is pretty much your entire loadout.
Did they explain why this faction that you're fighting buries cars nose down and paints them
my
pink?
co-partner and I were really we were trying to figure that out. Like, is it an aesthetic choice?
It's an
just,
incredible
like-
amount of effort. You'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all buried the same way. So,
Yeah.
they clearly have to dig a hole, and then people have to tilt it in,
Yeah.
and then, dig or fill the hole back in.
Yeah. This is a controversial opinion, but I'm going to share it here. I think that anyone who writes for television or video games who treats digging a grave with just complete cavalier, like no big deal, should be forced to dig a grave in real life to see that it
then
does
jump
take,
in
like
it.
when someone's like, oh, they got these guys we don't know. Well, we should bury them. Like I dug a grave for a pet rabbit, and it took a real long time. And rabbits are significantly smaller than people, so that's my little soapbox. Thank you.
You have a platform
agree.
and you're going to use it.
Exactly.
I was disappointed in this game that if you run straight forward into a cactus, it doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that should, like, even if it's not a huge amount, it should, like, you should get some punitive measure for hitting a cactus with your face.
Yeah. And can you kick somebody into a cactus and they take damage at least?
No, this isn't Bulletstorm.
Oh, that was my next
As a
question.
Far Cry
Is it
expert, I can
Bulletstorm?
say this is not Bulletstorm.
Dang it.
Too bad. Did you get a look at the skill tree when you were playing?
I saw a little bit of it. It's mostly perks, but yeah, it's pretty much similar to Far Cry 5 of, you can do this faster or you can like gather more resources when you mine them.
Nothing super interesting there.
Yeah, nothing that they showed anyway. That like, I'm not sure the build they gave us was the final one, but they were pretty cautious about not showing everything.
Okay.
Right.
Did you get a sense of like how significant the story is going to be? Like, are they diving into these different factions and you get to know them like, hey, we're the pink guys, we're really into cars, and hey, we like feathers, we're a different group of bad guys, we have our own way of doing things.
We're dark pink.
We're dark pink.
So I didn't get to see the actual like a lot of the story itself through the missions, but I did talk to the narrative designer a little bit, and she was telling me that there are these pink bandits that are the main antagonists.
Okay.
But also the cult from Far Cry 5 is still around.
Ah.
And they don't harm anyone. They're just going to live on their own, and they play a rather large part in this story as well.
Oh wait, yes, yeah, I got my
Thank God.
I like that you respected their privacy by not reading that note.
I got things I can't sit there like and read a note all day.
Exactly.
That's right. Making a video here.
Yeah. We appreciate that.
I like this one a lot more.
I like how they strip some of the cars of tires, but not all of them.
You never know. Oh, poor guy.
Co-op limited to 2 people, right? Still?
I believe so. Yeah.
Now, how far is is there an invisible tether between you and your partner where like the other person will teleport to you, or does it seem like you guys had a fairly long leash?
We have total autonomy, I think.
Oh,
Like,
really?
It didn't get any messages like, "Hey, you're too far away from your co-op partner" or anything
Oh, cool.
like that. When we were trying to actually get out of a mission, there was, I think that was not the co-op partner, it was the NPC that we accidentally ended up getting too far from, and the mission failed.
Okay.
But I think we can both just wander the world as you see fit.
And did you encounter any situations where you're like, oh boy, I can't handle this by myself. My partner needs to hurry up and get close to me so we can take it out together?
There's a couple of times where I died and I needed him to like revive me.
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, like if you just get away, there's not a whole lot of like that's hard to overcome in this game.
Okay.
Were there any interesting co-op interactions, or was it basically doing your own thing and reviving each other when you needed to?
It's basically doing your own thing and reviving each other. Like I didn't see any necessarily like things that you could only do with co-op.
Uh-huh.
Like there was a couple of situations where we would get behind 2 people and like both stealth kill them. And like I'm not sure how
weird.
designed that was, but it's one of those things. It's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the Mission Impossible like stealth takedown sort of thing.
Right. Do you know if arcade mode is making a return? The kind of player-created stuff where you had
They did
assets
not
from
mention it,
all
so
kinds of Ubisoft
I don't
games.
believe so.
Okay.
Also, I think those takedowns are incredibly brutal in a way that like actually sort of makes me uncomfortable. Like some of them are you bend them down and you stab them in the eye, which seems unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're a soft-hearted guy, though.
Yeah,
You always say that when you're
as-
not around.
my career as a Far Cry expert has been a struggle for that reason.
Yeah, you've never killed a single person in Far Cry
Yeah.
before this.
No.
Right.
I was thinking about the actual the Far Cry 5 video we did last year, and I think within the first 3 seconds I killed somebody.
That was different, though.
Yeah. That was just to see what would happen.
Yeah, exactly. And if I remember correctly, then you let the bees attack you as a punishment.
Classic video.
It really
Yeah,
was.
probably.
We all remember that.
So where are you
this is
now?
me being very confused about lack of roads.
Yeah.
What is this location? Are we still in Florida?
We're not in Florida. We are somewhere else, but I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Also, it kind of baffled me that like the helicopter can just fly from Montana to Florida.
Yeah, if I know my geography, it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah, I feel like helicopters are not meant for that specifically.
Yeah.
Very short range. Which, like, I like the idea that they're letting you leave Montana and be like, okay, just go to different parts of America, because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the initial Far Cry 5 thing of like, you're stuck here, and it's like, no, there's planes. People can...
Yeah.
You could leave if you wanted to.
Do we know if this is some possible alternate timeline that we're in, or is this just the Far Cry story as the world is over now?
I don't think they know.
Right.
I think that they wanted to do a sequel to Far Cry 5, and they wanted to have a post-apocalyptic game, so this kind of worked out for them. But I don't know, like, I doubt the next Far Cry is going to be, like, part of this. It'll probably just be, its earlier thing.
But we'll see how it sells.
Yeah, we'll see how this sells.
Yeah.
They were telling me that, like, they talked to government scientists about what a nuclear fallout would actually look like. They said, like, oh, there's a thing where once, like, things settle and the Earth starts rebuilding itself, it's what they call super bloom, which is why there's so many pink flowers everywhere.
Yes.
So it's interesting that it's actually a realistic thing and not just an aesthetic choice purely.
Yeah.
I like these guys that are just like, no, we don't need to get out. I'm tired.
Yep. They all get out one way or the other. And Imran's on the case.
Well, they get killed, and then open the door.
Yep.
It's like, I guess he was right.
Right. Well, that's about all we got, guys.
All right.
Excellent. Well, Imran, thank you for playing, and you did us proud.
Thank you.
Killed lots of guys.
I did, and a couple of dogs.
And this game comes out February 15th. That's oh so soon.
Yeah.
Barely 1 month from now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get the earliest Valentine's Day present you could get somebody,
Right.
in a way. Cool. Well, thanks for everything, and thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it.